We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order and declare a quorum of 7 present and start with, where's the consideration, discussion, and possible action related to the financial management report for the 2015-16 fiscal year, an overview of the school's first financial integrity rating system of Texas system and most recent rating for College Station ISD. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Dr. Yokin, members of the board and community. It's our pleasure to be here this evening to talk about the school's first financial integrity rating system of Texas. It is one of the ways that Texas Education Agency oversees and holds school districts accountable for performance and financial and fiduciary responsibility. So we give this report to the board and the public once a year, and it is for the 2015-16 school year because some of the data elements are a year or two in arrears. So to take us through our presentation and then some public comments if we have any in regards to this is Mike Martindale, Deputy Superintendent and Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Dr. Ely. Board members, thank you, David, for microphone assistance. As part of the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, once a district receives its official rating, they are required to hold a public hearing to review those results and announce the rating to the community. The purpose of the first rating system, of course, is for the state to assign accountability rating to the district and their financial operations. In essence, the district submits various financial data to TEA. This includes our annual audit. The TEA will review our audit and financial data. They have 16 criteria that they look for and score out to determine the accountability rating or the first rating they provide to the district. Once those are received, again, it's the district's responsibility to provide or post notice and hold a public hearing to report that rating. The purpose of the first system is to ensure that districts are accountable for their financial management processes, as well as look at the feedback provided through the 16 various criteria for possible improved performance in the management of their funds. The timelines associated with this first report, as Dr. Ely mentioned, the rating that we received is for the 16-17 school year. However, it's based on 15-16 financial information, so it can get a little bit confusing, but that's how TEA operates. So the end of last August, excuse me, I'm sorry, I should have, that was, I went on tangent. Okay, thank you. And I'll talk about recapture later if we want to. Never mind. August 2016, we closed out our 15-16 budget. In December, the audit was provided to us by Weaver, the 15-16 financial audit. In January, we submit that to TEA. By March, additional financial information submitted to TEA. And in September, you receive your preliminary ratings. Again, that's 16-17 first rating. However, it is based on your financial data from the 15-16 school year. Once receiving the final rating, the school district has 60 days to advertise the public hearing and hold the public hearing, which is what we're doing here this evening. We published our notice on October 25th and November 1st. Our first reports are, of course, attached to this particular agenda item, but a history of past reports can be found on our website. They're all posted under our Business Services Department, as well as additional conflict of interest disclosures that are posted under our Purchasing Department. Disclosure forms are a part of the first reporting requirements as well. As I mentioned earlier, the first 3 pages of your first report are 16 different indicators that TEA looks at and pulls information from your submitted audit. The first 6 of those are considered critical indicators. If you can answer to the affirmative on those 6, then you automatically receive a failing rating. The first critical indicator was a complete financial report and the appropriate data submitted to TEA within 30 days of the deadline, depending on when your fiscal year ends. Our ends on August 31st, so the deadline for us to submit our audit was January 28th, and that was handled on January 29th. So again, we're looking at our audit from December 2016, and we submitted that to TEA January 19th. Was the second critical indicator, there's two parts to the second indicator. Was there an unmodified opinion in the audit on the financial statements as a whole? Yes, we were provided an unmodified opinion by Weaver, and again, those results were reported to the board at the audit last December of 2016. The second part of critical indicator number 2, did the external independent auditor, that was Weaver and Associates, report that the audit was free of any material weaknesses in internal controls over our financial reporting and compliance. And again, Weaver confirmed or found that we were free of any instances of weakness. Indicators 3 and 4 out of the 6, was the school district in compliance with payment of all debt service? Yes, we met all debt obligations last year. And also, did we make timely payments to the TRS as well as the Workforce Commission, RRS, and other agencies? Yes, we were timely in those monthly submissions. Indicator 5, or the last critical indicator, is the total unrestricted asset balance in the government activities column in the statement of assets greater than 0. And there's a second portion or clause to this particular indicator. If the school district's change of students in membership over 5 years was 10% or more, the district passes this indicator. We pass on both accounts. Yes, we exceeded more than 10% growth in membership over the last 4 years, but regardless, our net asset balance is greater than 0. So we would pass on both accords on those indicators. The next 10 indicators are scored on a scale from 0 to 10, the 10 being the maximum amount allowable. Obviously, well, I'm telling you now, we scored a perfect score on all of those 10 points on all 10 indicators. So we scored 100% on the remaining 10 indicators. Just an example of a couple of those. Obviously, they're all listed in the first report for you. An example, indicator 6 was a number of days of cash on hand and current investments in the general fund for school districts sufficient to cover operating expenditures. We received, obviously, all 10 points on that. The threshold to receive those 10 points is at least 90 days worth of cash on hand, and we do maintain that. Did the school district's general fund revenues, this is indicator 9, equal or exceed expenditures? If not, was the school district's number of days of cash on hand greater than 60? So, for example, in the audit, did you come in at a deficit or a positive? We had a surplus for this particular year, so we passed that indicator. If the indicator moves to the next point as far as how much cash we have on hand, we have beyond 60 days. We met the 90-day threshold in indicator 6. Those are just a couple of examples of the remaining 10 indicators that we scored perfect on. Those 100% on those, as well as meeting the critical indicators. We did once again achieve the highest possible rating for our school district, which is superior rating. Other items that are included in the first report are these required disclosures. These are pages 4 through 17 of your first report. Superintendent's current contract, reimbursements received by superintendent and board members, outside compensation received by superintendent, gifts received by superintendent, board members, as well as business transactions. All of these are required parts of the first reporting system, and they are all part of the report linked to your particular agenda. This is a report-only item. I'll be happy to answer any particular questions from our first report. I do want to thank Mrs. Parks and our business office for their work, and once again securing the highest possible rating for this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martindale. Does anybody have any questions? Ms. Horn, do we have any public comment?
No.
Thank you.
With that, we'll
Thank you.